You know, The Rock is not natural, but there are still people living under a rock who think he is.
Dwayne Johnson takes steroids.
I don't know.
Do you think The Rock takes steroids?
I have no idea because if I look at him,
That's a good answer.
I have no idea.
There's not a fucking chance in hell he's clean.
No.
Not a chance in hell. As big as The Rock is, at 50,
A big reason people believe The Rock is natural is because he constantly promotes himself as the hardest worker in the room, showcasing his dedication to training and diet. He claims to consume 6 to 8,000 calories a day.
6 to, well, I would say possible, almost 8,000 calories a day.
With this massive Instagram following of 400 million, about 5% of the world's population, it's not surprising that some people struggle to believe he might not be natural. Many assume that a steroid user must look like a huge shredded bodybuilder who looks like a monster, but that's not the case. Let's take a look to The Rock's background. His maternal grandfather Peter Maiva was a big name in wrestling during 60s and 70s. Then his dad Rocky Johnson made a splash in 80s. So it's no surprise that The Rock has a strong wrestling background and probably why his genetics are so impressive. Check out this photo The Rock posted. At 15 he was 6'4" and weighed 200 pounds. He had just enrolled in school in Nashville, and because he was so big, students and teacher actually thought he might be an undercover cop. Fast forward a few years from when he was 15, by the time he was 18 or 19, The Rock was playing for his college football team and working out regularly. It was around this time that Rock tried steroids. He revealed this in 2009 interview with MTV when asked about steroids. He said, "Me and my buddies tried it back in the day when I was 18 or 19. Didn't know what we were doing." The Rock's football career started at the age of 18. He played for 4 years, and in 1995, due to shoulder injury and knee issues, he had to say goodbye to his professional football career. Now take a look at this picture and judge for yourself whether The Rock was natural or not at this point. In my opinion, he might have been natural here because we have seen his genetics at 15 years old, and at that time Rock didn't really need to show off his body. But again, that's just what I think. After that, The Rock started his wrestling career in 1996 with WWF. He used the ring name Rocky Maivia in honor of his father and grandfather. At that time, Rock weighed around 275 pounds and wasn't very lean or shredded. He had a bit of body fat and physique more like a power lifter, but over the next few years, his body started to change. He wasn't getting leaner, but he was packing a lot of muscle. By 2002, when his first movie The Scorpion King came out, The Rock was looking super muscular. Reports say he weighed about 295 pounds. While he wasn't all lean muscle, his physique was much more conditioned compared to his wrestling days. It seemed like he had been on blasting steroid cycles. After his first movie The Scorpion King, The Rock's Hollywood career really took off. He got a lot of new movie offers, but around this time his physique started changing too. He got noticeably smaller, and he said it was because he needed to look leaner for a comedy role he was working on. At that time, it seemed like The Rock was on HRT rather than doing heavy steroid cycles. But then in 2011, when he joined the Fast and the Furious franchise, at 39 he broke all boundaries, showed off his biggest and leanest physique ever, and The Rock didn't stop there. In 2013, his movie Pain and Gain came out, and it was said that he had his biggest physique ever at this point in his career.
I cannot kill.
After 2013, we haven't seen any drop in The Rock's physique. In movies like San Andreas, Jumanji, Baywatch and Rampage, The Rock consistently shows off a lean and muscular body. This suggests that he doesn't go off cycle. Otherwise, his body would fluctuate like it did between 2005 to 2010. It also indicates that The Rock doesn't seem to worry about his health, even though he talks about longevity.
This is a great question. Hands down, without a shadow of a doubt, being fit for longevity is my priority.
And so if your priority is longevity, it's more than just eating healthy and training hard. It's also not abusing PEDs. Sorry, someone has to say.
Then comes 2020, a year when the world was largely on hold, but The Rock was still pushing hard with his workout and injections. For his role in Black Adam, he reached the best shape of his life. At 50 years old, he was the most muscular and shredded he had ever been, weighing 277 pounds.
Obviously, with the Black Adam prep, there is mythology, there's character, there's story study, things like that. But when it comes to the physicality part and the balance and the energy of Black Adam, I want to raise the bar with the character. That's the hope.
Now let's talk about some people who have shared their opinions on The Rock's natural status. Last year, Joe Rogan did a podcast with Derek from More Plates, More Dates, where Joe Rogan said there's absolutely no chance that The Rock is natural.
No, yeah,
there's not a fucking chance in hell he's clean.
No.
Not a chance in hell. As big as The Rock is, at 50,
Yeah, how could you think otherwise?
eats a lot of sushi.
Yeah.
But point is, it's like you can't even get there with HRT. That's not HRT.
No.
Like that, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. And it's like, is
After all this, when The Rock appeared on Joe Rogan podcast, Joe didn't mention steroid at all, which left fans disappointed. It's funny, he now did a podcast with The Rock and never brought it up. Joe lost some of my respect after he had a chance to speak to The Rock. When Ronnie Coleman was asked if he thinks The Rock has used steroid, this was his response.
How about The Rock?
Yeah.
You think The Rock has taken steroids?
Yeah.
Do you think he took steroid?
He
When-
probably took a little bit of something here and there. Not a lot,
Again, for the sake of his job, I feel.
Yeah.
So what gives it away, yo?
Look at it. It's all kind of cut up a little bit,
The definition.
Definition is everywhere on his body.
Okay.
I could be wrong, but
It's very likely.
very, very unlikely.
Very unlikely that he's natural.
Very unlikely.
Bradley Martin invited Phil Heath on his podcast, and when asked about The Rock, Phil said he didn't know if The Rock had used anything or not.
Rock? Do you think The Rock takes steroids?
I have no idea because if I look at him,
It's a good answer.
I have no idea. Because we don't.
Gotta be. Dude.
No, dude. He's.
I love
I
The
don't,
Rock. I'm just saying.
I don't want to slam DJ on this, but like he's not as big as people. Like I've seen. You get what I'm saying?
I get it. I
He's
get it.
6'5", like 6'5", bro, like 6'5". How much you think you weigh?
I think he's. Well, I think it's at his biggest when he was like 260.
That's achievable.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It's like
Yeah.
people make it seem like this guy's like 300 pounds. Like even
Yeah.
300 pounds and ripped, I'd be like, come on, man.
Yeah.
He's not super round. He's lean. He's no, I don't. Now,
I feel like
can-
there was times where he was bigger.
when he was younger, but he wasn't cut though, and he's
Yeah.
part Samoan, dude. Have you hung out with Samoans?
Yeah.
Man, I grew up in Seattle. I grew up with Samoans, Tongans.
You don't think he's on a little TRT?
Maybe
Yeah.
I could say maybe.
Phil really tried to defend The Rock. It's possible Phil stayed quiet because he had his own documentary where The Rock made an appearance and also they worked out together. When Eddie Hall, the world's strongest man, was asked about The Rock, he said The Rock might be on HRT.
I would believe that The Rock would be on TRT, which is testosterone replacement therapy. And that is a very good thing to do. It's actually very good for you, very healthy for you, helps you be big and strong, helps you live a long and prosperous life.
I'm telling you, it's impossible for The Rock to maintain such a muscular physique at 52 solely on HRT. In my opinion, The Rock was likely on HRT for few years after 2005 and nothing beyond that. Now let's talk about why all of this is such a big deal. The Rock can do whatever he wants with his body, but when he indirectly claims to be natural, it sets unrealistic standards for his fans. Many of them, including millions of kids, look up to him and start their bodybuilding journey because of him. They see his incredible physique and believe they can achieve same naturally with consistent training or diet which might contain 6 to 8,000 calories. But when they can't reach those unrealistic goals, they got disappointed and might turn to PEDs. And just to be clear, if someone trains exactly like Rock, follow his exact diet and use all exact steroid he used, they still won't look like him. Why? Because The Rock has incredible genetics, not just for looking great but also handling PEDs and getting most out of them. If you need proof of just how impressive The Rock genetics are, just look at his father. He had a massive physique as well, and it's pretty clear he wasn't natural either. So when you combine those genetics with PEDs, it's no wonder The Rock looks the way he does. So now it's up to you to decide. Do you think The Rock is only on HRT or is he using more than that? And do you believe he's doing the right thing by keeping his steroid use under wraps? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below.